is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
The years have come, the years shall come. One nation, a future, and legacy. Just like a sun, we've only begun to define our rich history.
Good yawning this morning, and welcome back to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, your station for fresh news, smart talk all day. It is Thursday, the 27th of July, 2023, and you are on the clock with Erin Greene on this Culture Thursday. We got a full show today in two parts. The first part, I want to talk about the Independent Secretariat's 242 song competition. And then in the second part, we're going to talk about the news. Papers are filled with stories. I was looking at the Tribune first. Davis, Wärtsilä engines at BPL never worked properly. And then I saw the Guardian headline, PM, the smell is rotten at BPL. Minnis, retire Bell or I will bury him. PM promises review of immigration procedures. Bell didn't know person he approved permit for was in detention, ministry says. So there's lots to get to in the news as well. I've got a quick notice. Let me start with this. Did you all know that the Tom Hanna Regatta is taking place August 3rd to 7th, 2023 at the King Eric Gibson Regatta Park in Spring Point, Acklands? Well, now you know where you get to go for the August holiday weekend, especially if you are a member of the HHT family, Hannah Hasty Tynes. The Acklands Trade and Development Association presents another exciting event for all of the Bahamas. Come down, come find yourself in Spring Point, Acklands. Now, on to our Sand Dollar giveaways. As I mentioned yesterday, was the last of the Super Value Sand Dollar giveaway specials for July. It was a great spread of giveaways over June and July. And another announcement, we're putting the on-the-clock Sand Dollar giveaways on pause until Monday. We've got new rules, guys. Here's what we're doing. Every week, we are giving away Sand Dollars to two winners every day. If on the first day no one wins, that money goes back into the pot.
Nice.
And for the rest of the week, the winners will share the $300, right? If on the Tuesday no one wins, that money goes back into the pot. And the winners for the rest of the week will share that money equally among themselves until we get to Friday, right? And so there are new rules. I'm going to read the new rules clearly. Mind you now, the competition remains the same. You have to have a digital wallet to play. You need to be able to give the producer your wallet information when you call in to be able to answer the question. And listeners are restricted to one transfer for the duration of the competition. But you have an opportunity to win more money as the week rolls on. So we're going to get that new giveaway protocol started on Monday. To my winners that are waiting to be paid out, you will be paid out before the end of the week. The competition is just going to get more exciting as we go along. Now, I said today is Culture Thursday. The song we opened up the show with is one of the three finalists in the Bahamas Turns 50 242 song competition. Producer, continue playing that first song. It's Black, Aqua, and Gold by Ilsha. is coming right now. Now, I have a little commentary about the song competition. I must note that we have not had an announcement of the winner. I haven't been able to find the details for the competition, like when the voting for the voting for the winner out of the top 3 finalists when it's going to end. I don't know when the announcement's going to be made, but we are anxiously awaiting. You can go to the website. When you're ready, producer, play Black Aqua and Gold for me. If you want to vote, go to bahamasturns50.com/vote. That's bahamasturns50.com/vote. Let's go, producer. First song, Black Aqua and Gold by Ilcha.
Bahamas, rise up, put your flag up. Push your flags in the air. Push your flags in the air. For the legacy told and untold. Put your flags in the air. Put your flags in the air. Till all they see is black aqua and gold. The sad sea is sublime. Bahamians, this is our time to come together and show what we know.
All right, producer, I want you to get the second track. It's a celebration ready. I just, for a moment here. It's a very nice song, right? It's unfortunate that the songs were not formally released and promoted before the independence celebration, because now all songs will be judged against the People's Champion, Elkin 360 Golden Anniversary Bahamas. But this song, Black Aqua and Gold, is not a bad song at all. What I like about it is, this is what I like about it. It's a fusion. It's a fusion of Bahamian sounds and pop, and it's a sound that will resonate across like global North communities, right? I could feel that song being very popular in European countries, right? Very much. It's a nice, nice song. Compared to Elkin 360 Golden Anniversary Bahamas, though, I don't know if it could take first place. Producer, let's go to the second song, It's a Celebration. Now, one unfortunate thing is that the names of the artists were not attached to the songs in the competition. So I don't know who the singer is for It's a Celebration. If you in the audience, if you do know, please call in and let us know. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, 242-300-5720 for people in the Bahamas but not in New Providence. And of course, our text line is 422-4796. Here's the second finalist in the Bahamas Turns 50 song competition. It's a Celebration.
I pledge my allegiance to the flag and to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. This we take.
Wear your colors, wave your flag. Who rushing in junk canoe? Who going outside? Independent country, represent your tribe. We claiming 50 years, sweet Bahamian pride. We can celebrate. We celebrate. We celebrate. We celebrate. We celebrate. It's a celebration. Yeah. We celebrate. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We celebrate. We celebrate. It's a celebration. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, some will mix the fritter butter, put the pepper in the sauce. If you beat that conky crack, mayo in that all is yours. Bake the cake and call it joke. Yes. Great potato, call it bread. Independent 19th century, ice Bahamian born and bred. We celebrate. We celebrate. Come on. We celebrate. It's time to celebrate.
All right, I don't know who the singer is. I think in Patrice Morel. Right? That sounds like Patrice Morel to me, but I don't know who it is. I would say that's another nice song. right? It's another very nice song. I like the Junkanoo, I want to say, the word I want to say is heavy, right? But it's not light in the background. It's a prominent part of the composition. I like that as well. The critique I have of it is this. And nobody want to hear people who sound like me in the Bahamian anthem song, right? I sound like QC. I sound like Bougie. I sound like we trying to communicate a message to Europeans and other people that sound like me. I just saying that's what came up for me when I heard the song in comparison to Elkin 360 Golden Anniversary Bahamas. And if anybody is wondering why that song like took off in the Bahamian consciousness, right, in the collective, it's because that sound like Bahamian, right? I sound like I could be a citizen of the world. But Elkin's song rings authentic Bahamian. Now, it's a celebration. That's a nice anthem. That's a dancing song. That's a party song, a regatta song. People could dance. That's a nice song. And it should be in the top 3. I'm not discrediting it at all. And I think, again, another song, a disservice that we weren't introduced to the song long before the independence celebration, right? And Independence Day. Let's go to the third song, Producer, Together as One. Now, again, I don't know who the singer is for this song either, but hopefully the committee will post it. And I see another thing, the committee has used the Independence Secretariat's Facebook page for the vast majority of its communications. But the Facebook page isn't the best way to document this information for people to find it, right? This is something that should be on the website, right? And information about all the information, when the decision will be announced, when the voting closes, all of that, where we can find the songs, where we could purchase the songs. Is the Independent Secretariat going to sell the songs in a compilation CD, right? How do my producers get the song on their board? Let us know. Let us know where to go. So let's go together as one, producer.
Oh, well, the 242. Oh, well, if you plan to be Bahamian, oh, well, just put your hands up in the air. Oh, well, yeah, lift up your head to the rising sun. March on to glory, Bahama land. Let's go together in one accord. God heal our nation, please heal us all. If you're from the 242, Scully Brook, start to bust some move. Mash the roach if you see them crawl. Catch the crowd when you see them walking. Take a trip down Shirley Street, head the Junkanoo as it passing. 50 years, let's celebrate. A trooper aiming, I'm feeling great. If you see me out on bay, I'm Bahamian, till it gets running through my vein. I'm Bahamian, I need some grab and go. One plate and I'm trying to go. 2 plates and I've got to go. This one for the true Bahamian. Lift up your head to the rising sun. March on to glory.
There you go, together as one. Again, I don't know who the singer is. It's not a bad song at all. I understand why it's in the top 3. But my critique of all 3 of these songs, right, as standalone and in comparison to Golden Anniversary Bahamas, it feels to me like these songs were written with the Ministry of Tourism in mind. That's what they feel like. They feel like write a song for the independence, but Ministry of Tourism could also use in the airport, in their promotional work. And I think for those who were questioning how is it that Golden Anniversary Bahamas by Elkin 360 rose to the top, it's because, like, naturally, without trying, this song, this boy, encapsulated what is Bahamian, how we speak, how we think about things, right? It's all Bahamian. It's something special. It's something magical. The next critique I guess I want to put on the table before we transition to the news is this. Is that these three songs, along with a lot of modern Bahamian songs, I'm talking about modern, traditional Bahamian songs, so the evolution of rake and scrape, the evolution of our forms of calypso. I mean, we got calypso, biosis now, right? Calypso. There's something that's missing for me in the music, right? And it's the drum and bass. It's the heartbeat of the music. The thing that we're looking for when we're trying to describe what is Bahamian music, right? I think that thing is the drum and bass, the gumbe sound, that drum sound. That's our heartbeat, right? And every country, every jurisdiction in the region, right, of people that were forcefully transplanted from the continent into what is now the new diaspora, right? Every country has a drum beat, right? Every country has representations of those traditions from Africa, from the states that people were from. And that is the heartbeat of the music. And I find that a lot of modern artists, they don't have that heartbeat in their music. And it feels like the music is not alive. And I question, why is it that heartbeat is missing, and why more and more it's missing from modern Bahamian music? And I wonder if it is that we don't want to be African. We don't want to be black. We don't want to carry those parts of ourselves into the future. And that troubles me greatly. But I make that observation to juxtapose against Golden Anniversary Bahamas and Elkin 360, because the heartbeat is there. The essence of what it is to be Bahamian is there. And everybody across the archipelago felt it. Now, whether they were comfortable with it or not is another question, right? How it resonated within them is another issue. But I think everybody felt the heartbeat of that song, Golden Anniversary Bahamas by Elkin 360. Now, these are great songs. Black, Aqua, and Gold by Ilsha, It's a Celebration, and Together as One. The top three finalists, right, in the Bahamas Turns 50 242 song competition. They deserve coverage. They deserve to be published over the airways. They deserve a special program to ensure that the Bahamian public know what they are and understand why they were created. And the artists deserve that. So I hope what we're going to see at the end of this process is a compilation album with, at minimum, the top 10 finalists and some special mentions. Otherwise, what was the point of the entire exercise? What was the point? In the same way, will there be an official ceremony or an official press conference for the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture to declare the winners of the Bahama Games, 6th edition? If we're going to do these things, we got to do them right. We have to do them correctly, all across the board. Producer, you got Golden Anniversary Bahamas? Play that one to take us to the break. And then when we come back from the break, we are going to get into the news. I got a text here that says, and I'm going to read it because I've been admonished by my texters for editing and editorializing text. It says, great show as usual in the Bahamas. Our motto is, what is white is right. Well, we are still colonial subjects. That's not hard to fathom. And we're not denigrating people here, Texter. This is just an observation. This is what it is. This is what the system we live in produces. And until we change that system or we change ourselves, it's going to be that way for a long time. When you're ready, producer, let's go. Golden Anniversary Bahamas by Elkin 360. We're going to a break. You guys stay tuned. When we come back from the break, delving into the headlines, we're going to start with this one. PM, the smell is rotten at BPL. When we get back.
Nassau is the capital, Bahamas. Bimini is the gateway, Bahamas. 1492, Columbus landed. 1973, we were free. From Nassau to Inawa, Bahamas. From Freeport to McWarner, Bahamas. Tourists love our country, Bahamas. 700 islands, Bahamas.
Love the show? Want to give your support? Become a sponsor today. Call 302-2300 for our rates and packages. That's 302-2300. Become a sponsor on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Always on the go? Missed the show? You can now listen to Guardian Radio talk shows anytime, anywhere on Spotify and YouTube by searching Guardian Radio 96.9 FM or by entering the name of your favorite show. You can also listen by logging on to GuardianTalkRadio.com and clicking on the podcast tab. Guardian Radio, continuing to provide you with fresh news and smart talk anywhere, anytime, all day.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Good morning and welcome back to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, your station for fresh news, smart talk all day. I missed the on-the-clock giveaway. I missed the on-the-clock giveaways already. It's only been one day since we put it on pause. I'm going to throw out the question I had for the day anyway, Mr. Nuri. Let me see if you could get it.
I have prizes if you want to have prizes.
You have prizes?
Yeah, I have prizes.
You should tell me that from the break.
Oh, I didn't know.
Well, listen, we got a prize in the room. What's the prize, Mr. Nuri? Listen, we've got a ticket to the Blue Diamond Boat Cruise with music by DJ Rev and Friends, presented by Lodge St. Michael, number 1534 SC. I've got one ticket to give away, and here is the giveaway question before we get to the news. How many planets are there in our solar system? How many planets are there in our solar system? You don't need a digital wallet to win this prize. You just got to get the correct answer. How many planets are there in our solar system? The numbers to call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, and 242-300-5720 for people in the Bahamas, but not in New Providence. The text line, 422-GR96, that's 422-4796. How many planets are there in our solar system? Now, to the news. To start off, I'm going to ask the producer to play a clip featuring CEO and the COO, BPL, who appeared on Mr. Strawn's show earlier this week. Play the clip for me, producer.
We all had to learn how to pronounce Wärtsilä a couple of years ago. And we remember the big engines being paraded through the streets from the port to Clifton. And in a statement recently, we understand the contract with them has been terminated. Explain what happened there, and are any of these engines still in use? What exactly is going on?
Aside from the two that are currently still undergoing their maintenance in the maintenance cycle, which should be wrapped up by the end of this month. They're all able to be utilized. We're able to run like 5 of them at any given point in time.
They're able to be, or you are doing it?
No, we are running 5.
Okay.
At any given point in time.
Mm-hmm.
And so 5 are running right now, as is in line with our dispatch schedule and our maintenance schedule. The contract, we still have a relationship with Wärtsilä. Wärtsilä is the engine manufacturer. They're the supplier of all of our spares and what have you. What was terminated was the operation and maintenance contract with Wärtsilä.
Go ahead.
But that was just taken over by BPL's in-house management, and that was taken over for some operational efficiency measures as well as for some economic reasons.
Right.
It just made more economic sense in terms of there was duplication of specific staffing resources, and it made no sense given our current financial challenges to be trying to operate 2 separate entities when we were better able to utilize the staff that we have across both plants.
Okay.
And especially considering the proximity, they're all in the same yard.
So the 5 Wärtsilä engines are still...
There's 7.
7.
But we run 5 at any given point in time.
Okay. Still in use.
Yes.
All right.
All right. That was the CEO of BPL, Mr. Siobhan Cambridge. I've got a caller on the line, so we're going to stick a pin before we get to today's article. Good morning, caller. You are on the clock. You're answering the trivia question?
Yeah, good morning, yes.
Good morning.
It's 8?
Yes, there are 8 planets in our solar system. Thank you very much. Do you mind if I send this voice clip to my teacher, my science teacher from grade 6? Because they told me it was 9, but you got the correct answer.
Yes, no problem.
Oh, thank you. Now, you gave the producer your information.
Yes, I did.
Absolutely. I will contact you at the end of the show to tell you how you can pick up your ticket from the Nassau Guardian reception.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Now, listen, the boat cruise is this weekend, so you're going to need to pick it up. You're going to need to pick it up before the end of work on Friday.
Okay.
Okay, they close at 5 o'clock here, so don't miss it.
Okay, thank you.
No, thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy yourself on the Blue Diamond Boat Cruise.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Bye.
All right. So we got a winner for the ticket. I see we got another caller on the line. Let's just go to them quickly. Good morning, caller. You're on the clock. Good morning, caller. Okay. We missed you, no problem. So again, that was a clip from the CEO of BPL, Siobhan Cambridge, giving a rundown on the Wärtsilä engines and what is happening there. Now, I played that first, and now I'm going to read from the article PM. The smell is rotten at BPL in today's Guardian. Prime Minister Philip Davis charged in the House of Assembly yesterday that something is, quote, rotten, close quotes, at Bahamas Power and Light, and indicated that BPL and the Bahamian people lost out in the company's deal for Wärtsilä engines, which he said have, I'm going to turn to page 7, never worked properly. Again, the Prime Minister charged that something is rotten at BPL and indicated that BPL and the Bahamian people lost out in the company's deal for Wärtsilä engines, which he said have never worked properly. Davis's statement came in response to former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis's claim, once again, that the actions of the Davis administration are directly responsible for the higher power bills many consumers of the state-owned utility are seeing. Quote, the failure of the Prime Minister to continue with the hedge system the F&M left in place has led to sky-high prices, Minnis said. Bahamians are seeing what amounts to a Davis BPL tax on their bills. If the F&M process was left in place, the bills would not be this high. Why are our electricity bills going up while the cost of oil continues to go down? It is because, in my opinion, of the reckless, irresponsible mistakes made by the government. I want Bahamian people to listen to me carefully. Light bills are not just going up because it's summer. Bahamians are paying more because the PLP did not execute a program we had in place to buy oil cheaper and keep light bills lower. The Prime Minister then stood to his feet. He said, the unfortunate state of affairs is that the state of BPL today lies directly at the feet of the previous F&M administration. They started off with the Wärtsilä plant. The engines, are not working. They've never worked properly. I will be bringing in due course because I will be bringing in due course because of this constant refrain that the state of BPL today is a result of what we are doing. I don't like looking backward. I don't, but I have to in this instance because there's a lot of smoke that surrounds that transaction with the Wärtsilä engines. They're not working. In fact, we want to understand why. I will bring the documents as well. I want to understand why. It was presented that those engines were tri-fuel. If you look on BPL's website now, it is saying tri-fuel. And we were understanding in the last week when we are doing things to correct what's going on that it is not, which throws back the plans that we had in place. I will in due course point to where it is, and let me tell you, the smell is rotten. The smell is rotten. I am going to pause right there and say, I don't like this lack of clarity in this statement. Why speak if you're not going to speak with utter and total clarity? I don't like that the Prime Minister said, producer, I don't like that the Prime Minister said he doesn't like to look backwards, but he has to. Well, listen, you were a part of the government during that period you want to look back to. You were a part of the government, an official part of the government. You shouldn't have to look back. You were there. And if you were doing your job properly, you wouldn't have to look back. I see we got a caller on the line. Let's go, caller. Good morning, caller. You're on the clock.
Morning, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How you do?
Listen, our Prime Minister seemed to be a stranger to the truth and being honest, because now he's trying to discredit the Director of Immigration.
No. We're talking BPL.
No, I get into that. All
okay.
of that, this and this. What he's trying to discredit them for divulging information, privileged information, but he now is telling us he's going to get information to disclose on the last administration of BPL personal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? They really need to stop it. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
Erin?
Yes, sir.
I don't know what's going on inside this country, man.
Yeah.
I can do that now. And he's saying divulging information, private or privileged information, is against the law.
Yes.
Oh, you shouldn't be doing that. They need to stop that, man. Thanks for taking the call.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for calling. There's a lot that's rotten. If I were doing an investigation, I tell you all the time, I start on Frank Watson Boulevard and C1622 Avenue, that intersection right there. That's where I would start, because it could not have started with this Davis administration, and it could not have started with the prior Minnis administration. It must have started long before that. We demand transparency and clarity on this issue. No one is satisfied with former Prime Minister throwing jabs at the current Prime Minister. Nobody's satisfied with it. You all are both parties, both monoliths, are responsible for this matter. Furthermore, governments are continuous. Why do you continue to take a governance issue and pull it into politics? Governance is continuous. You all are both responsible for the problem. The PLP sat in opposition while the administration rolled out these policies. I can go to the phone line right now. Good morning, caller. Please turn down your radio.
Erin, good morning.
Good morning.
Erin,
yes,
what
sir.
You said just now was something that I was just about to state. Government is continuous, and this mere fact of one government, i.e., well, let's get specific. The PLP government is pointing fingers at the F&M government. The F&M government past is pointing fingers at the PLP government, and only those two political parties have governed this country over the past 50 years.
Yes.
Let's put this thing into perspective. I'm now sitting here wondering whether our Prime Minister is being set up to fail because there's so many backtracking, there's so many misleading information, there's so much speculation, and every time, you got the experts, because, we are here in the public domain, many of us who call into these shows, we are not experts. Mm-hmm. At least God has blessed us with enough intelligence and wisdom to be able to decipher some of the things that's going on around us and make a conscious, decision on whether what we are hearing is something that we can believe and trust in or whether we should push it aside. Sometimes I'm wondering whether our Prime Minister is being set up to fail by those around him because you got the people on the inside, and thank you, Dwight Strawn, for having the CEO and the CFO, I think it was, on his show no longer than 2 days ago, as it pertains to BPL. Their story with the Wasilla engines, the gentleman clarified that 5 of those engines are working, and 2 engines are down for maintenance. And here it is. You have the Prime Minister saying that none of the engines are working, and so on and so forth. So what is it? The public is demanding clarity on all these issues because they directly impact and affect us on a day-to-day basis. When are we, as Bahamians, going to be respected for having enough intelligence and common sense to read through the rhetoric and read through some of these people who are trying to feed us erroneous and false and bogus information? Yes. This is something that we are demanding. And in closing, we warned them about 2 elections ago that the Bahamian people are not going to sit down anymore and allow anyone to force things down our throat without coming out and demand that they be transparent. And so far, to be honest with you, nothing has been transparent and no one is being held accountable. These are the 2 things they campaign on, and these are the 2 things that we expect them to carry out as they said in their campaign that they were going to do. So I'm going to leave it there for now, continue to listen, and I'm telling you, to these persons in the government office, thank you for the information, bringing out the facts as it is pertaining to especially immigration on what's going on there, and let us know that there are trustworthy and truthful people working in these ministries on behalf of the Bahamian people. Thank you for taking my call.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Producer, let's go to that next call. Thank you. Good morning. You're on the clock.
Morning. What's happening?
Everything's good. How are you?
Hey, here's my issue with the Prime Minister's statement. Mm-hmm. The Prime Minister being the former Minister of Works with responsibility for BC for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
He knows the challenges with BC in terms of distribution. He knows the challenges with in terms of securing fuel. Mm-hmm. He knows the challenges in terms of the union. Why wasn't BC the first thing he addressed? Why wait till it blows up before it becomes a problem?
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is my challenge. You as a Minister of Works, you know the issue with BC.
Yeah.
And this is why I can't believe what he's saying, because you've been there for 5 years.
Minimum. And because you've been at the table, you've been at the table in cabinet when these matters are being discussed for over 5 years.
So why all of a sudden now you have to get back to us to make a statement? You know what's going on.
Absolutely.
You don't know.
And why you got to get back to us in the House of Parliament?
Exactly. Why can't you make a statement publicly where we can hold you accountable for it?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
This the challenge for me. With this statement. Anyway, I'll continue to listen.
No, man. Thank you. Thank you for your contribution. Absolutely. Let's go to the next caller, producer. Good morning, caller.
Yes, good morning, Ms. Greene.
Morning. How you do?
Yeah, I just wanted, with the BPL situation, everybody's crying, but, maybe they could bring an expert on, and a fuel expert. The engines were silver bought from Europe, right? With Dutch or Germany, right?
I think so, yeah.
All right, so it simply with Dawn and me that worked around boilers for about 12 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe it might be fuel compatibility, as far as the octane levels and combustible capabilities, and there are requirements for certain engines.
Right.
And so with the quality fuel we're getting here, I really couldn't see how you could run those engines without a problem. So anyone who knows about the chemical side of the combustion...
Hold on, pause. 52. They stick a pin right there. You hear what you're saying? See, because I know... Hold on.
I worked around boilers.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you.
We had biofuel for years at Radisson. So Jeff would have known that. And so what it simply means was that they was talking about climate change, but let me show you how this is all deranged. They knew for decades that diesel burn much more heavy and put out more carbon monoxide, dioxide, etc.
Right.
So the Cleaver Brooks that were top of the line, you could have boiled on propane, LPG. We never had compressed natural gas. We never had that here. I don't know how hard it is to get. There's a lot of updates that somebody who's well versed in chemistry. See, what I'm saying is for a country that has a lot of knowledgeable people, it shouldn't take someone like me to bring things to the forefront. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
I just highlight things to open up people's minds. That's all I here to do.
No, thank you, 52.
But I wouldn't dismiss what the PM is saying. So the maintenance schedule would show the problem.
Okay.
Bless up.
Bless up. But the point I wanted to make, 52, was this, right? When you spoke, see, it reminded me when I learned to drive car, right? The first lesson I got was, you got a gas car. You can't put diesel inside your car. You're going to break up your engine. You're going to destroy the car. First lesson. And in fact, my friends used to tease me. I asked them, why the man have to pump the gas? And they tell me, so you don't put diesel inside the car and break up the car. So what you said just now, I want to stick a pin, 52, because if the engine requires a particular type of fuel, why would somebody try to put a different type of fuel in it? I mean, I wouldn't spend millions and millions of dollars on an engine or generator that requires a particular type of fuel and not be prepared to put specifically what it needs in it. I asked the same question, why people here spend thousands and thousands of dollars on cars that they could not possibly maintain properly in this environment, right? Like you got a fancy car with computerized suspension, but you're driving it on Bahamian roads. Right. So I wanted to stick a pin far early in the conversation because you suggesting to me that as a matter of course, they may not have been using the proper fuel for their engine. Just as a matter of course, because that's how we do it. Anyway, let's go to the next caller. Good morning, caller. You're on the clock.
Therein lies the problem when you have someone who has a monopoly to bring fuel into your country and distribute it. But they supposedly try whatever, they could use these engines should be able to take any kind of fuel, right? We could put water in it and they run, right? And that's the kind of what sort of engine we got.
I am not an expert, so I can tell you I can't answer that question.
But, you know, it looks like the same persons who are making the decision to buy something for us are not taking the advice, because that gentleman was on yesterday from BPL.
Yeah, day before.
Yeah. I see, there's a little program, it's called Truster. The Israelis invented it a long time ago, and the Americans use it, but nobody won't tell you about it. But what it could do is this, and I want you to see if you can get a copy of it. You can replay a recording of someone when they're speaking the truth. And then you could and then what it does, it sort of calibrates. Okay. And then you could play a recording of the same person when they're telling a lie, and Truster will let you know. It's a fun program. Maybe we need to just download it, everybody, and just run a script. Because I'm fully believing that I need to check it on a mental institution for electing these psychopaths. I really think it's me.
I appreciate exactly what you're saying, because I already lobbying that no politician should be allowed in front of a mic without a chaperone. But maybe we need to run the test before they speak publicly.
Run tester. Trust is a good package.
Thank
Try
you,
it.
sir.
All right.
Thank you very much. Let's go to the next caller. Good morning, caller.
Hey, what's up, man?
Everything's good. How you do?
I am great, man. Good. And you have a guest in there too, right? Good.
Well, I got Mr. Nuri's joining me. He come to hold me in line. I get excited when we talk about BPL.
Oh, that's the one who like to always like to come after the PLP, but that's a different subject for a different day.
Yes, sir.
But Ms. Greene, in this whole situation when it comes to BPL, right? Yeah. I know people work to BPL, right?
Yeah.
But you know, I'd be trying to figure out where does the maintenance department plays in these in maintaining the generator. Like I think it was 52 speak I respect him as being a gentleman with knowledge.
Yeah.
He speaks some things really deep. But what happened to the maintenance department? Because I'm not here to try to make an excuse for the minister. But Ms. Greene, everyone has a portfolio and everyone has a part to play in any ministry or any department of anything. So when it boils down, where does the buck stop? Doesn't the buck stop at, yes, it stop with the minister or the prime minister. I'm not running from that, but it also stops with the maintenance department of those engines and different things. I think you all alluded to something about the diesel or fuel. Well, if you're in the maintenance department and you know that the fuel is not usable for that type of generator, why continue to use the fuel?
Yeah. Thank you, DeWitt.
Yes,
Thank you.
ma'am.
Absolutely. Again, another couple callers on the line. Thank you very much for your contribution. Good morning, caller.
Your caller who called about the fuel what they use in BC,
Yeah.
in BC was onto something.
Yeah.
And FPNL used to get their fuel from Grand Mama for their power plant.
Mm-hmm.
And you're looking at like a 0.2%, 0.25%. If that fuel was off by a 0.1%, a 0.1%, that fuel was rejected. If the sulfur was off,
Yeah.
if the pour point was off, can they show us the certificate of quality for the fuel they're purchasing from Shell?
What a
That
question.
fuel, when they purchase that,
Yeah.
that fuel is supposed to be checked before it comes off the ship. Supposed
I
to be
got
tested
you.
before it comes off.
Thank you,
Supposed to
caller.
be tested before it goes into storage and before it goes into the engine. Can BC clarify that to say that they're putting the right specification? Because those engines, even though they burn dirty fuel, those engines have to be specific.
Yeah.
The fuel has to be specific.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Absolutely. Let's go to the next caller. Caller, give me a second. This is why I constantly cry out. Professionals need journals to document their professional knowledge and expertise, right? And then that allows for the body that reviews the work that goes into it to include work by industry stakeholders and community members who are invested in these issues and can present an informed opinion or position paper on an issue. These are all valuable contributions, and Bahamians would be better able to engage the conversation if they had access to information. Good morning, caller. You're on the clock.
Good morning, Erin Greene. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Erin Greene, please don't fall for that here. Do not fall for that. Obviously, some of these callers are not well versed in what's going on with those Wärtsilä engines.
Okay.
Bunker C is the base fuel that used.
Uh-huh.
And the Prime Minister sounds as if him and his callers don't know the difference between what tri-fuel means.
Mm-hmm.
Tri-fuel means you could either use Bunker C, you can either use the LNG or another type of fuel. That's all that means.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean the fuel is bad for the thing. You have a choice of 3 fuels that you can use. In our case, we use Bunker C. So don't let these PLP pundits and these average people call there don't understand what the word they say it.
Now,
you understand?
You know,
and
if I had
those engines are running according to the general manager of BPL.
Okay.
Ain't no maintenance, nothing. The engines are running.
I got you.
So don't let them call you and try to distract a proper conversation, man. We tired of that, man, Ms. Greene.
Now, where's the journal? See, that's why I need a journal of verified, validated experts that I could turn to, so I don't rely on just commentary in the public domain. When I hear something, I could go to the journals and I could say, hey, listen, this has been documented. Here are the local experts that have spoken about it.
Ms. Greene, all you have to do, you ain't need no journal or pay nobody, no consultant or nothing. If you go back to when the Wärtsilä engines were being purchased and brought in, it was stated that you can use, it's a tri-fuel setup. In other words,
No, I got that part. What one of the callers was saying wasn't that they were putting the wrong type of fuel in it. It was that the fuel didn't meet the specific requirements.
that is not true.
I got you.
That is not true.
But we still need
That
a
is
journal to
incorrect.
document this stuff. We need journals.
Bunker C goes one standard.
I got you. Listen, I want a journal though. I'm not saying...
Well, go to the papers.
I'm not saying we're going to get a consultant. No, I don't want the papers. I don't want consultant either. I want the industry professionals that are recognized by their own professional bodies, like their own unions, to validate them and the information that they publish regularly to inform the people and to grow that professional industry.
Ms. Greene, our problem as Bahamians, that's why the man them could call and say, where you all from? Mars. You understand me? Somewhere out in the outer space. You understand? We understand. You may not understand, right? But a lot of us understand what's going on in this country. We ain't got to be no technocrats. We got common sense.
Listen,
got a little bit of education.
y'all say that, but ain't nobody raised the alarm. And y'all don't know what's going on in this country. And if you do, you're not saying anything to your own advantage. Because I know, let me tell you what I know. You're talking about the common man, and some of us, our heads in the cloud. Every day I could call any of my utility providers, right? Any day I could call any of my utility providers and tell them, right? Except for water and sewerage, I ain't watching the ground swell hard enough to make this assessment. But I could tell them their systems are not running properly. And you know why? Because there's no proper or regular maintenance of their external systems every day. So don't tell me that people like me, our heads are in the clouds.
No.
There's a whole bunch of people out here.
You may not know because you're a female. You may not understand what I understand. I was a technician. That's why I could call and say that. That's what I meant by that.
I want you to put it in a journal so your expertise could be validated.
What journal, Ms. Greene?
The BEWU.
What journal I need to put that in?
The BEWU should have had a professional journal, just like the legal association. When you go to any developed country, their legal association puts out a regular review or journal validating and documenting the expansion of the legal culture and the legal work in the country. And I argue that we would not be in this place if the professionals had validated their own work as opposed to allowing their expertise, like you have, right, to be thrown about the room and bandied about by people who can just say, well, that's a PLP, so I don't trust him, or that's a FNM, I don't trust him. If it's in a journal, then we can validate that the industry's experts, right, they have authenticated it and it's not tainted by politics. That's why we need a journal. Because you're valid.
Ms. Greene.
Yes.
You think that the technocrats and the management team at BEC don't know what they're doing when it comes to that. When them Watsilla engines gone by just 2 days ago?
No, me and you on the same page. We need to go and meet at Frank Watson Boulevard and C1622 Avenue to continue this investigation, sir. Because it ain't today and it ain't yesterday.
I go in right now, but I'm sure if you go to BEC, you can be privileged with that information. And what fuel do you think Freeport Power and Light is yours?
I don't know. I ain't got no idea. I need a journal so I can read up.
Thing.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for taking my call.
No, thank you for calling. Thank you for calling. Other callers, I'm so sorry. We all out of time. Hold the line. Maybe, Mr. Nuri. Yeah, I don't know. I'm so sorry, callers. You got to call back tomorrow. We can try pick up a part of this discussion. It's been a great show. And you guys remember to go to BahamasTurns50.com/vote and vote for one of the top 3 finalists. You guys have a great day.